Step 4 is essentially the only step that doesn't change. We have to make a decision. Our decision is we are either going to reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. So obviously what that means is before we really begin step 4, we got to jump back to step 2. We would now have our degrees of freedom values we need to use for the critical F or the F distribution table. So we would finish step 3, take a quick step back to step 2 to look up our critical F, and then check it against our little graph. If our F statistic or F ratio is in the shaded area, we reject. If it's in the body, we fail to reject. Same criteria as always. That does not change here. Now, writing this in APA is mostly the same as we have done in every other chapter. So it's mostly the same format as we were doing for our T statistics. The only real difference is that there's 2 degrees of freedom values to report. So we write our F, and then in parentheses, our degrees of freedom within and between. Close parentheses equals what we calculated, as always. This is the one in your calculator, not the one from the table. Semicolon P, less than if we rejected, greater than if we failed to reject. And then your alpha level. 0.05 or 0.01. So it's really the same exact format. There's just 2 degrees of freedoms to report in there instead of 1. And that would be step 4. So if we rejected the null hypothesis, we would conclude that yes, indeed, at least one of those treatment conditions was different than another. And fail to reject would mean that no, the groups were all pretty much the same as each other. The treatment didn't seem to make any difference. So from here, we are going to walk through our steps for a problem from the book. So let's get ready to do an example.